This is gonna be crazy.
Truth,
Pew,
lies,
pew,
shenanigans.
pew, pew.
All right, so I was trolling Facebook and I saw this crazy story. I thought it was BS at first, like one of those pranks or something. But video was released in New York last week of a homeless man, Frank Abrokwa, walking up to a woman waiting for a subway train and then smushing human poop all over her face. He was arrested Monday and charged with the attack that happened back in February of this year, February 21st. And for our listeners, the video shows Abraqua walking down the platform with a bag in his hands, walking towards a woman sitting on a bench, and he suddenly lunges towards her, smearing his human feces all over this woman's face. She tries to shield herself with her hands, but Abraqua walked behind her and rubbed the bag on her hair and on her back, smearing her even more before running off. And now the unidentified woman said through a Spanish translator, I got out of work and I was waiting for a train, sat down for a moment, and all of a sudden this man approaches me, hits me in the face, and throws a bag of feces. He spreads it all over my face and my hair without motive for no reason. So my first question, oh my God, is what the fuck would you have done? What the fuck would you have done if this was you? Robbie.
Thrown up, retched, scooped shit out from my face holes. What else are you going to do in the event of a
Face
surprise
holes.
attack like that? I mean, you're
Yeah,
sitting
that's
down, you get shit
unexpected.
smeared all over you. What the
I mean,
shock and bewilderment? It's I would love to say that I would snap and throw hands, but I think I would be shocked more
at
than
first.
anything and reviled.
I can see that. Yanni, what would you
Yeah.
do?
I thought about that too. I was like, the first thing I would do, fight or flight, I'm snapping. But then I'm like, it was really off guard. Like he didn't come like creeper-ish. Like he just walked normal up to her like he was gonna go past her. So I even saw her hesitate at first. I would have probably reacted it, but we still would have thrown hands. That's always gonna happen. But I think that initially I would have gotten the poop out of my eyeball sockets and hair. That's so bad.
Out of your eyeball
Right?
socket. Lizzie,
Uh,
what would you have
So this
done?
is a strange thing because, I lived in New York City for 21 years, and often, almost every day, caught the subway. So I've seen, not necessarily have I seen someone um, smear poop in another person's face. However, I was on the subway platform one day, train pulls up, doors open, and a guy gets off of the train, pants down, penis in full view,
Oh my God.
hands with some type of brown substance on them. And then, I'm wondering why, like a dumbass, I'm wondering why Andy is running off of that particular car. I'm like, okay, free, good seat. I get a seat. I get a seat to work for my hour-long commute. Not thinking. 'Cause sometimes you just your mind is
yeah.
elsewhere. And then I get
Hmm.
on the train and I look, he had smeared his poop all on the seat. And I
Oh
finally
my God.
I got it. I got it. And right when I got it, the doors closed. So sometimes you're not paying
So you were
attention.
stuck
Like
on the train with the poop?
until the next stop. Yep. Until the next stop. Now granted, I went to the other end of car, but I was stuck on the
Right.
train with the poop. Like a lot of times when you're on the subway in New York City, yes, you're aware of your surroundings, but you also have to take yourself to another place in order to just deal. And when you do that,
Yep.
sometimes you don't really have all of your wits about you. And I've asked
Mhm.
myself this question, like, what would I do if I were in that particular situation?
Mhm.
And I'm kind of with Rob. Like, I normally, under normal circumstances, I think that, I would like beat the shit, pun intended, beat the shit out of him, right? Um, but that is something that is just so out of the ordinary and disgusting
Yes.
that
Random.
I think that I would be in shock. Also, too, you can't see it here, but you see the train right there? The yellow line is right in front of the train. You see how close that is to the seat?
Mhm.
If this is a subway,
Yeah.
I can't see on the other side, but if this is a subway station where the train is on the other side, then it's equally as close on the other side. These type of people are not afraid to throw your ass onto the tracks. They're not. Oh yeah, you can see it. So yeah, there is another side. So that's something
Yeah.
you also have to be aware of and fearful of if you engage with people like this. Not only will they attack you, but they will push you onto the tracks. They will throw you onto the tracks. So I honestly, I think in that situation, I would have run for my life. Fuck
Mm,
fighting. I would have run for my life. These people are crazy. And I know it turns out that he's homeless,
mhm,
right?
yep,
Um, but a lot of these people that are acting out in New York City right now are not homeless.
yeah.
A
This
lot of them are not.
the story you described was not unusual because in researching the story, there was like a ton of images and
Oh,
pictures of people like
oh, oh.
shitting in like buckets directly on the seats like you described. I mean, it's
I've seen a guy pull it out and pee on a packed train. I've seen it before.
New York subways are rough.
Live.
I mean,
It's rough.
I've heard about it
New
on
It's
York
rough.
DC
is
subway
bad.
systems,
Yeah.
but it's you see it on like it's a regular thing on New York subway systems.
It's
And I
rough.
mean,
And
as
the
far as the
sad
question,
In New York,
go ahead, Liz.
no, I was just gonna say, New York, there's a sense of people being immune to certain things, outside influences in New York. Like you have to have a tough skin. You can't react to everything. And so if there's no one around this woman, but I can't guarantee that even if there were people on the platform that they would have helped her. New
Yeah, that's true.
Yorkers look at
They
you like
don't
you
they
better fight for yourself.
mhm.
You better fight for yourself.
As
Like
far as what
very
I would have
rarely does
done,
someone help you.
as far as what I would have done, I think I would have probably still jumped up and done something. I would have
yeah.
been like, "What the heck is this?" And then
I would
I
have
don't
done something. I would have run.
I feel like I would have
Like,
I don't know. I feel like I feel like I would have actually probably started a fight with this dude. I don't know. I feel like I would have because
Let me
because if
just
you
the
had a
assault by
weapon,
itself.
he
Because
would
even
have
if I didn't know what was
assaulted
in his
you.
hands, I would have felt assaulted. And my first instinct
Yeah,
when
that's
I'm
true.
assaulted tends to be to stand up, get up, and be like
Like,
confront the guy. So I don't know. I feel you on being surprised, shocked, etc. But I still feel like I would have done something. Let me get to these
but I
comments
think
online.
also
There's a
too,
lot. Go ahead.
New York humbles you very quickly
It
because
can.
again,
Yes, that's true. That's true.
I am
I can't
someone
lie.
who thinks that I really am not afraid of most things except bugs and
Yeah,
rats.
that's true. You're right.
People, I'm not really afraid of. But you have to use common sense sometimes. Very last story. On the platform, there was a guy taking pictures of me, which I find to be highly offensive and rude and disgusting.
Mhm.
But I didn't say
Mhm.
anything to him. I was about to. He saw my reaction. He also had a bag in his hand. He saw my reaction. He started cursing me out and told me, and I quote, I'll throw this fucking acid in your wannabe pretty face.
Ooh.
He threatened to throw acid in my face. Did I
oh
respond? No.
God.
Thankfully, the train, not even my train, the train across from me came. I hopped on that thing so quickly. Like, I'm not, you
I'll
got
agree
it,
with
bruh.
you on
You got it.
New York City
You
can
got
humble
it.
you quick. That's true.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with
Mm,
you on that. All right, so
that's
let's
true.
get these comments online because Mike Wolf said, and I busted out laughing in the middle of one of your stories. I apologize, but it's because
Mike Wolf lives in New York City, so he
Mike
knows.
Mike Wolf said ladies in Beverly Hills would be paying top dollar for that kind of exfoliating mask in 6 months.
Shut up.
So,
Alan, Alan Correa says, such an odd situation. I think you'd be in total shock. The motivation behind this is fascinating, though. Um, Mike Wolf also said, beware the empty subway car. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
there,
I knew better. I knew better. I knew better.
Gary Wynn said, ghetto flashback would have come over me. Fists up. Need to have mental health personnel stationed in the streets. I think
they
this would have been
should.
this is Jacqueline Robinson. I think this would have been total shock. I hear the horror stories all the time. I've been on the train
Yeah.
in New York City and even in Metro and DC where folks are talking to themselves, answering back. That's why I get off at the next stop and switch cars. Um, Jeanette Brown says, I would have found somewhere to clean myself off as quickly as possible. I so hope she did not have to take the train home smeared. Well, that would have been
Oh,
awful.
I
Mm.
know. She
Ew.
And
probably
Yeah.
went to a bathroom and got it off. There's bathrooms there.
so
Where?
Abrokwa, he's had 44 previous arrests, includes 3 from just this past January and February, which he was released without bail. On January 7th, he attacked a 30-year-old stranger on a subway platform yelling, "Hey, hey, hey," and he repeatedly punched the man in the head. February 5th, he walked up to a 53-year-old stranger at the Greyhound bus station and punched him in the cheek. And on February 22nd, he grabbed screwdrivers and other items from a Bronx hardware store, then pointed a screwdriver at the employee and said, "Call the police." And this was the day after this uh, this alleged attack on the 21st. Now, Abrokwa was arraigned on bail ineligible misdemeanor charges in the first two cases. And although the police initially charged him with robbery in the hardware store case, he was ultimately arraigned only on menacing, petty larceny, and misdemeanor weapons possession charges, I guess, for holding the screwdrivers.
So let me
N-
just update everyone very quickly on the new bail charges in New York City, which is
well,
allowing a lot of these things to happen,
let me just say this one
especially
last thing.
someone.
So, police were frustrated, complaining that saying that we catch them and the justice system releases them. So, what are your thoughts? Should he have been
It
on
should,
jail? Go ahead, Lizzie.
I mean, I think it should have been beyond jail at this point. Have y'all seen Oh Yeller? Have y'all seen the movie Oh Yeller?
You want to put him down, huh?
Because that's what he needs. But in 2019, the state legislature of New York passed bail reform, which eliminated cash bail for most misdemeanor and what they consider to be non-violent felony charges. So that means for something that's a misdemeanor, you don't get any bail. They release you on your own recognizance. That's why these things keep happening. That's what the police mean when they say we arrest them, they do it again. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know I probably sound like a Republican. Forgive me. However, it's a real problem. It's a real problem. And I hate the fact that a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people in situations like this always jump to mental illness. Okay, he may be mentally ill, but that's not my problem. That's not
Mhm.
my problem as a potential victim. And there are people out there who are just straight evil. We
Okay,
keep trying to eliminate or
there are.
excuse evil. There's evil out there. I've seen it.
So,
Evil.
Gianna, you want this
It's
guy put down like Old Yeller, or you want him put in jail? What do you want?
I feel like my opinion I wouldn't want to kill anybody. I don't want to play God. But
I
I
didn't say
do
it was
feel like
God.
those type I do I do feel like those
There is
people
no
need to be
God.
off the street. I do feel like those people need to be off the streets, but I don't know. I don't
So
know
you're going
about
with jail?
putting them down. No, get him mental health.
Mental health.
He's crazy. He's not normal. I feel like jail would worsen the issue.
What do you think, Rob?
Uh, I mean, he has a significant rap sheet. So the fact that he's just walking around and able to perpetrate more of these actions is beyond me. Because, yeah, he should have been institutionalized in one way, shape, either by the criminal justice system or by the mental health system. But that person should not have been walking around freely with a rap sheet like that.
Not that
And
long.
it's, yeah, exactly, not that long. So the system absolutely has failed this individual. And like Liz said, this could be someone who's just straight up evil, but you got to be a special brand of broken to be able to keep pulling off the stuff that he does. I mean, just multiple assaults, threatening people. I know that there was an anti-Semitic, there's a hate crime charge against him as well for some anti-Semitic comments that he made. And yeah, Frank Abrokwa is not a well.
Yeah, as far as putting him down, obviously, I don't want to have him put down, but
Mm.
I don't know that he
It's
should
the
be in
same.
jail either. I'm kind of torn. I mean, he has a long rap sheet, and I think that he definitely needs to be put away somewhere or some type of rehabilitation. I don't know about definitely don't think put down, but I don't know about jail either. I feel like this is what we're talking about with police reform. that we should be having some of these mental health specialists as part of the police force, as part of the justice system, or maybe there's even a whole separate way to start handling people with mental health issues. Because I am concerned with what you described, Lizzie, of people getting off on mental health. We throw everything
Yeah.
into this mental health basket, you know, which is a concern too, because everyone can just say, claim, "Oh, I had a mental health break, and I should." But we need to find a way to deal with this mental health issue and still keep the evil people you're describing off the streets, because that's we have to
You know
find
what else
something.
is happening? You know what else is happening? Because, again, I lived in New York City for 21 years. I still have tons of friends, loved ones there. I watch a lot of the news and participate in a lot of the message boards. So, a lot of women, a lot of these attacks are happening to women,
Mm,
whether they be Black women, white women, Asian women, Latino women. A lot of these attacks are happening to women. So, people are advising women to get guns. I can't tell you the number of times I see someone in the comments section, get strapped, ladies. Take classes on how to shoot a gun, ladies. And I, for the majority of my life, have been anti-gun as a citizen when it comes to me.
mhm.
Like I've always felt like I don't need a gun. Now I'm starting to think a little bit differently
Yeah,
because things have gone batshit crazy in New York City, but it's also getting a little
it's not
crazy
just New
down here
York.
in Washington,
Mhm.
D.C. Yeah. D.C. has gotten ridiculously crazy. And I think that's one of the things that the pandemic has done for me in my favor, in that I haven't been as exposed to it because I don't go anywhere, don't leave my house. But I
Mhm.
remember walking down the street a few times pre pandemic and thinking that I was about to be engaged in something
Mhm.
with these little teenagers. These teenagers out here are nuts. And so now I'm starting to rethink my gun policy for myself. Like, okay, I may need to go take lessons on how to handle, how to shoot a gun, and then figure out what cute little purple gun I could get to fit into my purse.
Yeah, I'm with you on the
Mhm.
gun thing. I've been struggling with the gun issue. My wife doesn't want me to have a gun, but the thing is, it's hard to meet. With so many people having guns, it's hard to meet them where they are. If you're going up against someone who has a gun, a knife, etc., how do you protect yourself from those violent
Well, I think it,
criminals?
so. I have a friend in New York City, a young lady who has a gun, and in situations like this, she says when she's on the subway, if she's isolated like this lady, and she's sitting there, her gun is in her purse, she has her hand in her purse times on her gun until the train comes. Like she's ready. She's ready. And that would probably be me. That would probably be me. Like even when, before any pre-pandemic, I don't carry any weapons on me. However, I know how to use my keys. And
Yeah,
so if it's late at night
I
and
do
I'm
that a
walking
lot.
down the street, my biggest key is in my hand, ready to go for your throat. So I
Yeah.
think that would be, how I would approach the situation. But this is what it's comes to. Like a lot of women are taking
Mm.
classes in handling weapons,
Yeah.
how to protect them, self-defense classes, how to protect them. And it's sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Let's get to these
It's
last
so
few
sad.
comments. I do want to say that he did say he tweeted after he was released on bail. He kind of laughed about it, that he got off on bail, but he also said something to the effect of now women can stay away after this poop incident. Women will stay away from me, or something like that.
He
Yeah.
also he had an Instagram page, in
It was an
case y'all
Instagram.
didn't
Yeah,
know. He had an Instagram page and he was posting videos talking about poop to the scoop.
yeah.
Like
He's making fun of it.
he's having fun with all of this.
All right. So Daria Winter says prisons should not bear the responsibility for mental health challenges institutionalized. Jacqueline Robinson, don't penal institutions have psychiatrists? The issue needs to be dealt on a one-on-one basis. Jeanette Brown, my my ex-2B's mental health issues cause him to hurt me. I'm not sure what that
Mm.
is. Including
Her ex.
her ex. Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Mental health issues causes him to hurt me, including breaking laws and stealing and cheating. Does he deserve better mental health resources or jail time? Question.
Mm.
Um, And Darwin says because the floodgates are opened to release mentally ill people onto the streets without a plan for serving the needs of the mentally challenged. I agree with that. They just throw them out in the
And
Mhm.
street.
that
That's why
started
there's so many homeless mental health people
that
with mental health
started in the
issues.
80s with President Reagan, folks.
It's
Remember,
true.
do some
Hmm.
history. That
Mhm.
started in the 80s with President Reagan, throwing all of the mentally ill people out onto the street.
Olivia says a gun question mark. She would have still had the shit in her face, even with a gun. It's not like he warned her. It's a shame. I hate that I even have to think this way. Oh no, this is it's not like he warned her. And then Jacqueline Robinson said, I actually considered getting a little silver one years ago to keep in my purse. I hate that I even have to think this way. Um, so
But but let
a
me
lot of
just say the
comments on
shit
that.
in the face isn't his only infraction though. Like you said, he came at
No.
somebody with a screwdriver.
Yep,
Like this
screwdriver. He
guy,
punched people in the
it's
face.
it's not just
Yeah.
shit.
Yep,
He's
It's
violent.
not just
yeah.
poop.
We need to be
Yeah,
protected. All right, we're running out of time.
it's
So,
not.
is this true, lies, or shenanigans? The poop in the
I'm gonna just
face.
go in the spirit of
It's bullshit.
No. Just
Human shit.
no.
It's not bullshit. It's human shit.
Shenanigans.
Definitely
So
shenanigans.
gross.
So what do you say,
So
Gianni?
gross.
It's shenanigans
Shenanigans.
and bullshit.
That was a crazy
In this
story, man. That was a really crazy story when I
it's a
saw it. I was like,
scary story.
wow. Just
It's
But when I
crazy that
first
he's
saw it,
making fun of it.
it did not shock me as much as I think everyone else was shocked because again, I lived in New York City for 20 years.
yeah.
Seen a lot of stuff on the subway. A
All
lot.
right. We got